Today I'm going to be showing you how to do the half double crochet. You will need your yarn, a crochet hook, your yarn needle, and some scissors. To get started, we are going to do a slip knot. So to do a slip knot, you make a loop with your yarn like this, and then you hold down on this X part right here. Bring your working yarn behind your loop. You don't want to have your tail behind there because then when you go to cinch it up, it won't cinch up pretty decently snug. So we are going to reach inside the loop, grab the yarn out, put some pressure down with this finger to kind of hold the yarn steady. Oops, I'll let that go. And then just pull like that. So we are going to grab our crochet hook, put our loop on our crochet hook, cinch this up decently snug. You don't want it too tight because you want to be able to have some room to move this around. You see I have just a little bit of space here. That is perfect. We are going to grab our yarn. I hold my yarn with my pinky and ring finger, and then I just wrap the yarn around my pointer finger like this, and then I have my thumb and my middle finger to grab onto my working yarn to put a little bit of tension on this. And we are going to start by chaining 10. To chain, you yarn over, and I twist my hook down and pull it through the loop that was already on the hook. I will demonstrate that again. You will yarn over, bring the hook down, and pull through your loop that you had on the hook. So we just chained 2. We need to do that 8 more times. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through, yarn over, and pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. We should have chained 10 now. Let's count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Should look like this. Now we are going to keep our 2 fingers on this 10th chain right here. And you just want to hold that down. We are now going to chain 2 more. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over, and pull through again. This is going to be our turn chain, so you will not count this as a stitch. Chain right here, thumb and middle finger on. If for some reason you did let it go, it is just the 3rd chain from the hook. So 1, 2, and 3. We will be going into this one right here. The loop on your hook does not count as a stitch. Okay, so yarn over, bring your hook down, and go into that stitch right there. And then kind of make sure this is a little loose so you have a little wiggle room to move around with. And you are going to yarn over, bring your hook down, pull it through that loop. You now have 3 loops on the hook. 1, 2, and 3. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on the hook like that. And that is your first half double crochet. We are going to be going into this next stitch right here. Yarn over, insert the hook into the next chain stitch, yarn over, pull through, bring up a loop. You have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Go ahead and yarn over, insert into the next available chain right here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3 stitches on the hook. Now you should have 3 half double crochets into the chain. You can see them by the V's. So here's the first one right here. You can see because there's a V. That's your first stitch. This next V is your second stitch, and then your third stitch right behind the hook. We are going to do half doubles in every single stitch all the way across our foundation chain row. Until we get to the last stitch. Yarn over, insert into the next chain, yarn over, bring up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. If it makes it easier for you, you can yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first loop, pull through the second loop, and pull through the third loop. You can do them one at a time as long as you pull through all 3. Yarn over, insert your hook into the next chain, yarn over, bring up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, bring up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, bring up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Your work should look something like this. We got 2 more stitches to go here and here before we're at the end. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. 1 more to go. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. So now we are just going to make sure that we have 10 stitches so it matches up with our foundation chain. To count your stitches, I just pulled up my loop a little bit so I have a little bit of room here, and I'm going to show you these V's. Each V is a stitch that we created. So here's going to be our first half double crochet. Here's going to be our second, our third, our fourth, our fifth, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and our 10th one is kind of rounded with that chain 2 that we did for our turning chain, but it is there. It's right there. To go on to row 2, we are going to snug that back up a little bit. We are going to chain 1, yarn over, pull through, and chain 2. We are now going to turn our work. You are going to be looking at the back side of the first half double crochet row that we did. We are going to be going into this first stitch right here, right at the base of our chain 2. Yarn over, insert your hook into this space, and make sure to get underneath both of these V's right here. You want to be underneath both of them. That is your stitch you did in your previous round. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Now, to give you guys a little pointer on this, when I pull through all 3 of my loops, I actually lift up on my crochet hook a little bit, and it just opens up all 3 of the loops to make them a little bigger. You yarn over, insert your hook into the next space, and you want to be sure to get underneath both of the V's right here. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and lift up on that hook a little bit and keep a little tension on your working yarn and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. I just did 2 and then did my last one. So it opens those spaces up a little bit and allows you to crochet into it and have a little more room. We are going to yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over, bring up a loop. You should have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Just like that. We are going to complete this all the way across until we get into our 10th stitch right here on the end. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert all 3 loops on the hook. Now, sometimes you get where your yarn splits, like where mine did. That's okay. You just want to take your crochet hook and release that little piece of yarn. It happens quite often, so no need to worry if that does happen. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, bring up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Now, this is our 10th stitch. So we are going to yarn over, insert the hook. This first one is going to be kind of hard to try to determine which 2 to go under. Just insert it in there and make sure you are underneath that top of the chain 2 V-stitch. Yarn over, bring up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook, just like that. And you can see that we still have our chain 2 on the edge right here, and we just went into that stitch right above it, right there. Now we are going to be working on row 3. So again, we are going to yarn over, bring up a loop, yarn over, bring up another loop where you're going to chain 2. Turn your work so you are looking at the back of row 2. And you can kind of see our edges kind of starting to shape up here and on this side as well. It's a little more square. Again, we are going to go into this stitch right here at the base of our chain 2 right there. Yarn over, insert your hook into that space, yarn over, bring up a loop. So you have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. We are going to complete this pattern all the way across until we have 10 half double crochets. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, bring up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, bring up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, bring up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, bring up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Now, this is our 10th stitch. You can see it right here where this V is. There's two V's right here. And that is at the top of our chain 2 on the edge. Yarn over, insert your hook into the top of this chain 2, and it's going to be kind of tight because it's on the edge and it's pulling it down a little bit, but just insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. You have just completed your 3rd round or 3rd row. We are going to count to make sure that we have 10 stitches all the way across our work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We are going to be chaining 2, turning our work, and doing 10 rows total. So we did 1, 2, and 3 rows. I will meet you back here when you have completed 10 rows total. So you need 7 more rows. Okay, so after you have your 10 rows, I'm going to show you how to count them. I look for this row right here that looks kind of twisted, like these loops are kind of going at a diagonal, like kind of upwards, that is going to be row 1. Row 2 is going to be these loops that are kind of coming down. You can see them right here. Row 3 are going to be the stitches going upwards. That is going to be row 3. Row 4 are these stitches kind of swooping downwards. So that is row 4. Row 5, row 6, row 7, 8, 9, and 10 as our last row. That is how I keep track of my rows. If it's easier, you can go to the side and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 if you would like. Whatever is easier for you. And I have this 100% cotton variegated yarn. That's how I got the pattern that I did. Now, if you need a little more help on your foundation row or chaining or anything like that, please refer to my single crochet video. I go a little more into depth on that. And I also do a little more explaining in that one. So to finish off our little project we have here, you are going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull up another loop. So you're going to chain 2. We are now going to pull out a little bit of yarn. We are going to leave a fair amount, a decent amount, I would say, I don't know, 8 inches or so. Snip the yarn. That is going to give us enough area to pull this through. And you're going to cinch this down. You're going to have a little bit of like area right here where our chain 1 was, and our chain 2 is pretty cinched up. You can see it right there. You're going to grab the top of the knot, and I usually just put my fingernail there, and you are just going to grab your yarn and cinch down a little bit. Now this will be fairly tight, but it creates a really nice knot once you cinch it down. And we will sew this in so you won't even see it. We are now have this tail. We're going to grab our yarn needle, thread the yarn through our needle, grab our little piece of masterpiece right here. You're going to go down into the loops, and it doesn't matter. You can pretty much do this however you want. I just start in the first one right here, so it's fairly close to where I ended my work or started it, and you're just going to kind of pull that down. You don't want to pull it down too much to where it like caves in or you're like you're pulling it. You just kind of want it to sit there kind of nicely like that. Now you have a nice even edge on your work. We're just gonna go in, I don't know, say to this one. And this doesn't matter, you can do this any way you want to. And I'm just gonna turn it this way, go, let's just go through here again and go through these stitches, come through, pull it kind of snug, but not too snug to where you're pulling that yarn down farther, because you want that nice edge. I'm gonna go down through these ones and come out here and I will show you what I'm gonna do. So give that a little snug. I'm gonna go in between here, go through that one and one loop of the next stitch. You can see that there's two, and I'm going through one. I'm gonna bring that through. I'm actually gonna go in between these stitches, kind of like this, to just weave it in a couple of times. You really only need to do this just a couple of times. When you weave it back and forth like that, your work will almost never come undone. I'm going to go underneath this one, go through here, kind of bring it down a little bit. Go through this stitch, come over through this one and this one to go back through that stitch right there. Like I said, there's no right or wrong way to do this. You just want to hide that tail a little bit. And I realize with the color variation, you can see it just a little bit, but not really too bad. If you have all the same color yarn, it will hide a little easier because it's obviously the same color. But I just chose this color variegated yarn so I could, I think it's easier to show the stitches when you are just learning. And we're just gonna pull that off because I did that a few times. And you're going to snip your yarn really close to your work. So I fold mine wherever I'm gonna cut the yarn and get really close to that. And snip and get rid of your tail. And work this a little bit. You don't want it too tight or too loose. Kind of pull a little bit. And your tail disappeared. You can't even see it was even there. So flip your work and we are going to sew in our starting tail now. Thread your needle. And I'm actually going to go through this first stitch right here and just pull it through. Just like that. And then I'm going to go underneath this stitch right here, because what we want to do is hide it. I'm just gonna call that good for this side. And this is just my little swatch, so I'm going to snip my yarn really close to my work. Get rid of that tail. Kind of work that a little bit and it will blend in. You can see it a little bit here. That's okay. I'm just probably, since this is 100% cotton, I'm just going to use it to clean my counters, scrub pots and pans, or something like that. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please hit the like button and share the video if you would like. Please subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment down below. I would love to hear anything you have to say, suggestions, have any questions, what you should do. I mean, I'm here to answer any question you got. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.